Hi students, welcome in chemistry classes, and today's lecture is about stereochemistry. In our last lecture we have studied about some more topics of the stereochemistry, like what are the 3D structures, Newman projection etc, and we have seen about the enantiomers etc. Okay, now we have to see one more important topic, that is topicity or topical relationship. Here a question is asked, a very important question. You will see in each question paper there is a question that we have given the two molecules and we have to find out the ligands, whether the ligands are either homotopic or heterotopic, they are enantiotopic ligands, diastereotopic or constitutionally heterotopic. So you have to identify them, and this question is very much important. Okay, for this you should know about such type of ligands. What are these ligands? Okay, so firstly we have to understand the topical relationship. Okay, so for this we should know about the homomorphic ligands. What are homomorphic ligands? Okay, see here, two identical ligands. Suppose to a carbon atom, two chlorine groups are attached in this manner, right? So these two chlorine atoms are called the homomorphic ligands. Now the relationship between these two chlorine atoms in the intact molecule, if we see the complete molecule, the relationship between these two chlorine atoms in that whole molecule will be called the topic relationship. And this phenomenon is actually known as the topicity, right? Okay, now these homomorphic ligands may be of two types. One type is the homotopic ligands and another one is the heterotopic ligands. Okay, so firstly we are understanding about the homotopic ligands. What are the homotopic ligands? Okay, so see here, homotopic. Homo means same and topos means place. When the replacement of the two ligands by another ligand, it means if we are replacing these chlorine atoms by another ligand, suppose we are replacing both of them by bromine, okay, one time this chlorine and another time this one, okay, and we are getting the same structure, same type of molecule we are getting, then such type of ligands are called the homotopic ligands, right? Suppose consider one example. If we are seeing the example of methyl chloride, here these three hydrogens of the methyl group are called the homotopic ligands. Why? See here, I am making here the structure. See, this is the carbon atom, okay, to which this is the chlorine and these are the three hydrogens attached to it, right? Now we have to name them. So we can name them like HA, HB and HC, right? Now we have to replace them one by one. Suppose firstly I am replacing this HA by the fluorine. Okay, so what we are getting now? Here will be chlorine and this will be now fluorine. Okay, and this will be hydrogen and this will be hydrogen, right? Now another time I am replacing this HB by the fluorine, right? So what we are getting now? Here will be Cl and this is hydrogen. Here will be fluorine and this will be hydrogen. Okay, and the third time I am replacing this one Sc by this fluorine. Okay, so what we are getting now? Here will be fluorine. Okay, now consider these three molecules. All the molecules are identical. Why these are identical? Because in each of the molecule there is no chiral center generated. What is the chiral center? I have told you in my previous lecture what is the chiral center. Chiral center means any center where four different groups are attached. But you can see here in this molecule, this is the center, okay, and here two hydrogens are attached. Okay, so there is no chiral center generated. Same in this case, same in this case. Okay, so there is no chiral center generated. It means these three molecules are identical. Okay, and there is another way by which we can check. What is the way? I have told you that we can fix one of the ligand, okay, and we can rotate the other three groups either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Suppose this molecule remains as it is. Okay, now I am rotating this molecule. Fix this chlorine at its position, okay, and I am rotating in this manner. This is the clockwise rotation. So what we are getting now? See here, this chlorine will remain at its place. Okay, fluorine will come here and this will be hydrogen and hydrogen. Okay, right? Similarly, you can do here. We have to fix this chlorine at its place. And now I am rotating it in this manner. Okay, so that we can get this fluorine at this position. Now we can match the three molecules. See here, all the three molecules are similar, right? Three molecules are identical. It means these ligands are homotopic ligands, right? Okay, now we have to see some more examples of the homotopic ligands. Suppose we are considering this example. Here see, these two hydrogens I have named here A and B. Okay, so we have to replace them by the another ligand. Suppose the ligand is X. So we can replace this HA by X. Okay, so what we are getting now? Here will be X, right? And this is bromine and this will be hydrogen. Now we can replace this HB by the X. Okay, so what we are getting now? In this manner. Now if you see these two molecules, see here, this carbon atom is not a chiral center here. If the carbon is not a chiral center, then the two ligands will be homotopic ligands. Okay, I have told you again and again that if here no chiral center is generated, then the two ligands are homotopic. So these two ligands are homotopic, right? Now consider this example. If we are considering this example, okay, see here, this is the second example. Suppose these ligands I have named HA and HB. Okay, so we can replace them by some other ligand, like we are taking here deuterium. So what we are getting now? See here, we are replacing here HA by deuterium. Okay, so we will get in this manner, right? Now we are replacing HB by deuterium. So what we are getting? This structure, right? Now how you can say that these two structures are identical? For this, what you have to do? We have to rotate this molecule by 180 degree. And how we have to rotate? I have told you in my previous lecture how to rotate it. For this, just you have to do that, you have to put this group down and this group below. Okay, and then this group will come here and this will go here in this manner. Okay, so what we are getting? Right, and here this deuterium will go here and hydrogen will go here, right? And this OH will interchange its position, right, in this manner. Now you can see both the structures are same. We are getting the identical molecule by the replacement of two hydrogens, right? So the two hydrogens are homotopic. Okay, now see the next thing, next molecule, that is a alene, and here we have taken an unsubstituted alene. In unsubstituted allenes, the two hydrogens are always homotopic, right? I will make a full video on the allenes so you can understand them in a more clear manner. Here you should understand that these two double bonds are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so the two hydrogens here are in the same plane, but this hydrogen is above the plane and this will be below the plane, right? So if here the two groups are same, then these two hydrogens will always be homotopic. Okay, nothing you have to do. If these two groups are same, then these two hydrogens are homotopic. Okay, that was the long way of identifying the two ligands, whether they are homotopic or heterotopic. But there is also a short trick by which we can identify whether a ligand is homotopic or not. What is that? This is the symmetry criteria. If in a molecule a CN axis is present, right? And if we can interchange the two ligands by that axis, then the two ligands will be called the homotopic ligands. Suppose in this molecule, see here, we can impose an axis here, this is a C2 axis and we can rotate this molecule by this axis. If we are rotating, suppose this is HA and this is HB, okay, and if we are rotating this molecule, what will happen? One thing you should notice here, that whenever we are rotating the molecule, the group that is above the plane will go below the plane, okay, and that the group that was below the plane will go above the plane in this manner, right? So this group will go below the plane and this will go above the plane, right? So this will go here, this group is going here, right, and this is going here. So I can write here, this is going here and it will be now below the plane, right, and this is going here and this is now above the plane in this manner, right, and this here will go HB and this will be HA, right? Now you can match, both the structures are same, we are getting the same molecule, okay. So these two ligands are called the homotopic ligands, and similarly these two methyl groups are also homotopic. You can be also asked about the methyl groups, whether these methyl groups are homotopic or heterotopic. So these two methyl groups can also be interchanged, okay. So these are also homotopic ligands, right? Now consider this one example. This is a good example of allenes, okay, and allenes is very much important topic, so I will make a particular videos on the allenes, biphenyls, etc. Okay, here this is unsubstituted allene, right, and here a C2 axis is present, right, we can rotate about it, okay. So when we are rotating, what we are getting, this will go below the plane in this manner and this will go above the plane, right, okay, and this HP will go here and this HA will go here, right. So we are getting the same structure again, okay, both the structures are identical, so the two groups are here the homotopic ligands, these two ligands are homotopic. Okay, now the next type is the heterotopic ligands. Okay, what is the heterotopic ligands? Both the ligands we are seeing same, okay, but when we are replacing one of the ligand, then what we are getting? We are getting the isomers, okay. If we have to replace one, suppose we have given two chlorine atoms and we are replacing one by the bromine, then we are getting the isomer, okay. So we are getting two different isomers. On the basis of these isomers, we can differentiate these heterotopic ligands in the three different types, okay. So firstly, what thing we have to see? We have to see the connectivity of the two ligands. Suppose if the two ligands are attached to the same carbon atom, see, this is the carbon atom and the two chlorines are attached to the same carbon atom, okay, then such type of ligands are called stereochemically heterotopic, right, and these may be of two types. One is the enantiotopic ligands and another one is the distereotopic ligands. What is enantiotopic ligand? When it is giving, when we are replacing the two groups and we are getting the two enantiomers, then they are called enantiotopic ligands, right, and when the replacement gives the two distereomers, then they are called distereotopic. We will see somewhat later them. Firstly, we are seeing this thing, when the connectivity is not same. Here the connectivity is same, both the chlorines are attached to this carbon atom, but suppose if the two ligands are attached to two different carbon atoms in this manner, right, then such type of ligands are called constitutionally heterotopic, right, and this will lead to the constitutional isomers. If we are replacing one of them by X, suppose one time we are replacing this by X and another time we are replacing this by X, so we are getting two different isomers, that will be called constitutional isomers. So firstly, I am giving you the examples of constitutionally heterotopic ligands, right, then we will come to the enantiomers, enantiotopic ligands and distereotopic ligands, okay. So firstly, see these two examples of the constitutionally heterotopic ligands. See here, in this case we have to identify these two methyl groups, right. See here, this methyl is attached to C1 carbon atom and this one is attached to C2 carbon atom, right, and if we are replacing them by two different groups, suppose firstly I am replacing this one ligand of the C1 carbon atom by the X group, okay. So what we are getting? and here we have to replace it by X in this manner, right? Now I am replacing this methyl group of C2 carbon atom by X group. Okay, so what we are getting now? Here we have to put X, right? And this all thing will remain as it is, right? Now you can see these two are constitutional isomer. Okay, so these two ligands will be called constitutionally heterotopic. Okay, similarly see here this case. If we have to see the two hydrogens of this nitrobenzene, okay, so these two are attached to two different carbon atoms. This is two different carbon atoms, so we can replace them. Suppose we are replacing, this is H1 and this is H2. Okay, I am replacing H1 by fluorine. So what we are getting? In this manner, right? And now I am replacing H2 by fluorine, right? So what we are getting? This product, right? So see here, this is the ortho product and this is the meta isomer. Two different isomers we are getting, right? So these two hydrogen atoms are constitutionally heterotopic ligands. Okay. Okay, now the next thing is the enantiotopic ligands. What are enantiotopic ligands? When the replacement of the two ligands gives us the two enantiomers, then such type of ligands are called enantiotopic ligands. And what are the simple way of seeing them? If we are replacing them, this is a general method, then we will see the short trick. Okay, firstly we are seeing the general method. What is the simple method? Just we have to replace the two groups. Suppose firstly I am replacing this HA by the X. Okay, so what we are getting? And then we are replacing this HB by X. Okay, so what we are now getting? Okay, now see here, in the two cases, here this carbon atom and this carbon atom, here a chiral center is generated. These carbon atoms are now chiral. Why? Because four different groups are attached to them. You can see here a new chiral center is generated. In this molecule there is no chiral center, okay, but here the chiral center is generated. It means the two new molecules are now enantiomers. These are mirror images of each other. If we are seeing their configuration, then we can see this is the S isomer and this is the R configuration. Okay, so these two are the enantiomers. Okay, so the such type of ligands are called enantiotopic ligands. About the R and S nomenclature, how to identify them, I will make another video. Here you should understand this simply, that here this is in the clockwise manner, okay, and here it will be in the anti-clockwise manner. But I will give you some more videos on the R and S nomenclature so that you can understand that in a very clear manner, right? Okay, now see this next example. Here this is the allene, but see here this is the substituted allene. Substituted means these two groups are now different, right? These two groups are different. So we have to identify these two groups. This HA and this HB will be now enantiotopic. Why? Because this is substituted and differently substituted. Okay, substituted not. This is differently substituted allene. So when we are doing the replacement here, suppose I am replacing these two groups by the bromine. Okay, so first time I am replacing this HB by bromine and the next time I am replacing HA by bromine. So what we are getting now, see here. Here we are getting bromine, right? And this will be hydrogen, and in this case we are getting here bromine, right? And this will be now hydrogen. Okay, now you can see here these two are the isomers, these are enantiomers. Okay, so this case is of enantiotopic ligands. Okay, if you are seeing their configuration, this will be S configuration and this will be R configuration. Okay, similarly see here, in this case these two ligands are enantiotopic. Why? Because if we are replacing them by the another ligand, suppose we are taking the bromine and we are replacing them, this will be the one isomer. Okay, and this will be the another isomer. Now you can see here, in these two isomers a new chiral center is generated. This is the chiral carbon atoms. Okay, a chiral center is generated in a non-chiral molecule, right? So these two ligands are called enantiotopic ligands. Okay, now see this example. Here two hydrogen atoms are present now here, right? So we can see whether they are enantiotopic or diastereotopic. For this what we have to do, just we have to replace them by X. Suppose we are replacing first this HA by X. Okay, so what we are getting now, here is OH. Okay, now here will be the X group. Okay, and this is the another hydrogen. Similarly, when we are replacing it by the HB by the X, then what we are getting, here will be the hydrogen and this will be the X. Okay, now you can see here this carbon atom is now a new chiral center. Here this is not a chiral center, this is achiral, but here a new chiral center is generated at this carbon atom, right? So these two isomers are now enantiomers. Okay, so these two hydrogen atoms are enantiotopic hydrogen atoms, right? And one more thing that you should notice here is that in NMR, when we are seeing the NMR, the enantiotopic ligands are always chemically equivalent. Okay, the homotopic ligand was chemically equivalent and the enantiotopic ligands are also chemically equivalent. So this thing that I am giving you here, the enantiotopic ligands, diastereotopic ligands, etc., these are also used in the NMR spectroscopy. Whenever you have to find out the equivalent ligand, then you can find out by this formula. Okay, and now the next thing that we have to see is the symmetric criteria. There is a short trick for this also. Whenever we have to find out the enantiotopic ligands, then there is a symmetric criteria. As we have seen for the homotopic ligands, similar thing we can see for the enantiotopic ligands. We does not need to replace like this. We should note one thing. What is the thing? That the two ligands are enantiotopic if they can interchange through a plane of symmetry. It means if in a molecule, if there is a plane of symmetry and we can interchange the two ligands by this plane of symmetry, right? Or there is a center of inversion, or there is a SN axis, right? Anything out of these three things, right? If any of these is present and we can interchange the ligand by them, okay, any of these symmetry criteria are present, if then the two ligands will be enantiotopic ligands, right? Okay, see here with the help of one example. Okay, now see this molecule. Here in this molecule you can see here, this is the two hydrogen atoms and we have to identify whether they are chemically equivalent or not. It means they are anisotropy or not. Okay, so I am naming them as HA and HB, right? And you does not need to replace them, just you have to see here, there is a plane of symmetry in this molecule. This is the plane of symmetry and we can reflect these two hydrogens by this plane of symmetry, right? So these two hydrogens are anisotropic, right? Second thing is the center of inversion. See here the another example. If you notice in this molecule, you can see here there is a center of inversion. This is the center of inversion and you can reflect these two ligands in this manner. So these two bromines, or if you see these two methyl groups, are the anisotropic ligands. So if you have asked whether these methyl groups are anisotropic or homotropic, then you can say that these are anisotropic ligands. Similarly, these two bromines are anisotropic, right? You does not need to replace them. Okay. Similarly, see the one another example. Okay, see there. Here these are the two hydrogen atoms and we have to identify whether they are anisotropic or homotropic or diastereotropic. For this, what you have to do? Just you have to see here. Here is a SN axis present. How this SN axis is present? Suppose we are rotating this molecule by this axis, y 180 degree. Okay, we are rotating this molecule in this manner, we are rotating, right? So what will happen? This group that was above the plane will go below the plane and this group that is below the plane will go above the plane. Similarly, this group will come here and this will go here, right? So by 180 degree rotation, what we are getting now? We are getting a molecule in this manner. This will be now HB and this will be HA. Okay, and here will be the OH group and this will be the CH3 group, right? Now what we have to do? What is in the SN axis we have to do? Now we have to reflect this molecule. Okay, reflection after rotation. This is the meaning of the SN axis. Okay, so we have done here the rotation. Now we have to reflect. So after reflection, what we are getting? If we are reflecting this molecule, this HA will come here. Okay, and this will be the HB. Here will be CH3 and here will be OH. Now you can match these two molecules. This and this are the same structure. Okay, so these two ligands are anisotropic. Okay, now the next topic is the diastereotopic ligands. What are the diastereotopic ligands? The two ligands will be diastereotopic if the replacement of these ligands by the another different ligand will give rise to the diastereomers. It means if we are replacing, two hydrogens are given to us, right, and we are replacing them by the X group, okay, and we are getting two different isomers that are diastereomers, then the two ligands will be called diastereotopic ligands. And one thing important to be noticed here is that in NMR these two ligands will be non-equivalent. It means they will give rise to the NMR peaks at the different places. Okay, this thing is clear now. And there is a short trick for identifying whether the two ligands are diastereotopic or not. What is the trick? If we have given any, in this way, a molecule is given to us, right, and a chiral center is present here, right, and the two hydrogen atoms are attached at this place. It means if the two hydrogen atoms are attached at a methylene group, this is the methylene group, CH2 group, right, and the two hydrogens are attached at it, and this is adjacent to this chiral center, then these two hydrogens will always be distereotopic. If we name them HA and HB, then these two are distereotopic. Why? We can understand this with the help of example. Suppose we are replacing them by X. Okay, firstly I am replacing this HB. Okay, I am replacing this HB with this X. Okay, so what we are getting now? Here we are getting X, and this is the H, and this is A, and this is B. This is the chiral center, right? And now you can see here, this is the new chiral center that is generated. It means a new chiral center is generated nearer to this firstly chiral center. So there are two chiral centers now, okay? And there may be different configurations at the two chiral centers. Suppose we are now replacing this HA by the X, okay? So what we are getting now? Now we are getting in this way, okay? This is the new chiral center that is generated near to this, okay? So at this the configuration may be different, okay? Suppose there is R configuration and there is S configuration, or there may be R and R, okay? So two different configurations. It means there may be R and S configurations, okay? Or there may be R and R configuration, or there may be S and S configuration, right? So different type of configurations may be here, okay? So if there is R and S, then there may be S and S, okay? So the two molecules will be distereomers now, okay? So these two hydrogens will always be definitely be distereotopic ligands. See here one example. I have taken here one example. You can understand this. These are the two hydrogen, and we have to identify whether they are enantiotopic or distereotopic, or constitutionally heterotopic or homotopic. So see here, these are not constitutionally heterotopic. Why? Because both the hydrogens are attached to the same carbon atom, or these are not homotopic, right? Now see here, this is the chiral center. Why this is chiral center? Because we can see here four different groups are attached to it. This is the methyl group, and this is one group, and this is another group, and one is the hydrogen, okay? So this is a chiral center, okay? Now this two hydrogens are attached to a carbon atom which is attached to a chiral center. So these two will always be distereotopic, and we can check them by replacing them. If we are replacing them, what we are getting now? We can replace each of them one by one, okay? Suppose one time I am replacing this one, so we are getting this, okay? And then next time we are replacing another one, so what we are getting? Now here will be hydrogen, and this X will be above the plane, okay? Okay. So now you can see, you can make the configurations here. I have not told you the how to assign the R or S configuration, that we will give in the next videos, but you can understand here that at this carbon atom here, at this carbon atom there is R configuration, okay? And at this carbon atom there is S configuration, okay? And in this case, at this carbon atom there is S configuration, but at this carbon atom there is R configuration, okay? Sorry, at this carbon atom there will be R configuration, right? So you can see here these two distereomers are generated now, okay? So these two ligands are distereotopic ligands. Okay, now see the next example here. In this example you can see here, this is the chiral center, okay? And these two hydrogens we have to identify them, okay? So these two hydrogens are attached to a methylene group that is attached to a chiral center, so these will definitely be distereotopic. And if we are replacing them, we can do the replacement operation, so we can identify them, we can further confirm it, okay? So if we are replacing, what we are getting now? firstly replace this one. Okay, so we are getting this structure. Okay, and then we are replacing the another one. So what we are getting? We are getting this structure. Now there are two chiral centers, this one and this one. Okay, similarly here this one and this one, and at the two chiral centers there will be different configuration. If there is R and R, then there will be R and S. Okay, and if there is S and S, then there will be R and S. Okay, so similarly there will be different configurations. So we are getting two diastereomers. Okay, so these two ligands are diastereotopic. So we does not need to do such type of replacement operation again and again. If we can see here that there is a adjacent chiral center and a new chiral center is generated, then the two ligands are diastereotopic. See here in this example, you can make it clear. We have to identify these two hydrogen atoms. Okay, now these two hydrogens are attached to this carbon atom and this is attached to this carbon atom. See here, OH, H, CH3 and this group. Four different groups are attached. So this is a chiral center. Okay, so two hydrogens are attached to a carbon that is attached to a chiral center. So these are diastereotopic, and if you are replacing one of them, then you are getting a new chiral center. Okay, so these two hydrogens will be diastereotopic. So in this way you can do all such type of questions very easily. And in the next lecture I will give you several examples. A number of examples are asked in the question papers in NET and the GATE exam, in the IIT JAM etc. So I will give you several examples, several questions from the previous year question papers. Okay, so watch the next videos and comment us. Thank you.